Hello and welcome to Star Trek Deep Space Mine, which is a game made by Brainoid and Honest Dan for Ludum 52. The theme was Harvest, and so this is a game about using deep space mining technology to harvest both energy and precious gems from these dark, mysterious crystals in space. So let's get into it and learn what it's about. So this game is about building, and it's a little bit of a relaxed pace, kind of play the cards that you were given and do the best of the situation. A little bit like Romantic in a way, but I guess there's some lose conditions in this that isn't just run out of tiles. So you get presented with these tiles or cards at the bottom, and these are the type of buildings you can build at the moment. So you can see on top of the tiles there's different resources in that. So let's have a little look what we got. So we've got a laser drill that'll give us precious gems that we can harvest from the purple crystal. We have campsites, so this will provide population, and then we have a energy generator, and that'll provide power for us, so we absorb the energy from the crystal. So the power is what you need to build a lot of buildings, and every turn you take, this multiple ring mining platform that you're on will consume power in order to operate as well. So you need to make sure you got power. If you run out of power, things are going to go bad, and that's the lose condition of the game. The gems, you have a production target up this top right corner, and when you get to that target, you've earned enough riches that you can upgrade your mining rig, and it'll add another ring onto it for you. And you can unlock some new fancy buildings to play. And then finally, population is granted from these green buildings, and that gives you people that you can either use as workers, which is a special type of card that we'll see in a bit, and also some cards, like you see this one, requires 2 population to play. So yeah, let's get started then. So we've got 2 green cards, and it's important to think about having more than one, because in this game, if I was just to play a campsite here, this would not give me anything on its own. Instead, what you've got to do is you've got to make chains between the same building types in order for them to give you the resource that they're responsible for. So you can see that we've got these walls. So on the cards you've got these X's, and that represents which direction are their walls. So these two are chaining together because there's no wall between the top side and the bottom side of these tiles. Just be aware of that as well. We probably need to think about energy as well, so I'm going to just go ahead and place an energy generator here. It's not going to give me anything yet because it's not chained to anything, so let's have a look at that. You see these two give population and pop. Their resources have gone down, so we can do that another 2 times before those buildings disappear, but this one hasn't changed because it wasn't chained to anything. So we can immediately see, oh, okay, I've got another red card here, but we can see the walls are on the top and bottom here. So if I was to play that here, it's not going to connect to it due to the chaining. So that's a little bit unfortunate here. What we could do if we're unhappy with what we've got is we can use one of our power resources. You can do this once per turn to re-roll the cards that you've got, hoping for better ones. And you can see we didn't particularly get better ones here. We got another power one again, but we're in the same situation where it's not quite gonna match up here. But what we'll do is we'll drop this down here anyway, just so you can see that it doesn't, and we might get another card next turn that matches it. Now I'd also like to play these cards, because we can start getting some of these commodities to level up our ring, but we've got to be aware how much of energy we use. So this is going to cost us 2 to get a couple of these down, but if I really want, I could go ahead and put 3 of them down. So it's a little bit risky because we definitely need power next turn. Remember, it takes 1 power to end your turn as well to do the spinny goodness. So you can see this now. Once it finishes its turn, it's gone down by 1. And now here we are. Okay, so this is a good thing, I guess, that we got this battery farm here and we placed that down last turn, because that means I can place this here in order to get a chain at least between these two. So that'll provide me with some power, and this is our first chance to see some workers as well. So workers, they don't require power. They will take down the population by a decent amount. You can see they take 2 to place, and instead of having an amount of resources, they have a lifetime. So that means this worker will exist on this tile for 3 turns. And what it'll do is, based on the type of worker, this was a red worker, so it matches the power tiles, it will harvest one of those resources off of it each turn. So now, even though this isn't in a chain, we can start harvesting from it. So that's good news for us. So let's go ahead and do that. And you can see we're still going to get a little bit of green from here, so our population should still be going up, and our blue over here should give us some more. And actually we should hit our production target, because you get 1, 2, 3 from each of them, and there's 3 in a chain, so that's going to give us 6. So let's end this turn. Okay, so we've got those resources, and our little worker gets an extra resource for us. You can see the ring is upgraded. We've now a 3-tier mining station. And we get given 2 new cards that we can draft now, which is great. And you can see we actually have drafted one of those behind us. The grey cards are specials. So this allows us to change the direction of a ring, so that it rotates a different direction every time that it gets told to turn. So about turning, you can see at this top side of the screen, we've got numbers that represent when the different wheels are going to turn. So the middle ring is going to be in 2 turns. This second ring is going to turn next turn, so in 1 turn, and then this third ring is going to turn in 3 turns. So we got to be aware of that, and you can sometimes plan ahead to make sure that you don't place things in bad places so that they kind of stop being useful after 1 turn perhaps. The crystal up here, this means that the crystal is going to shoot out a crystal flare and destroy one of the tiles in 6 turns. So this is something you can be aware of. You can unlock different buildings, a lightning rod, to kind of absorb that damage, but it's tricky to get to that point, and it's tricky to always make sure that you've got one up. And it also isn't going to prevent all damage. The crystal might happen to hit a different side of the ring. So yeah, that's going to be another reason that the game gets harder over time, is because you are getting your tiles destroyed by the crystal's unstable nature. Anyway, okay, so enough backstory. Let's carry on playing for a bit, shall we? So we've got this nice chain of 2 along here. I'm going to probably use one of these fancy ones. You see this one has 6 resources available, which is a lot better than the older one. It's a bit more expensive to play, but we'll go ahead and do that. Power is a bit low, but we should be getting a nice amount from here. And then we also have got an energy generator. So I think what I'll do, I'm not going to play this now. Instead, I'm going to play a campsite ready for a future turn. So let's just drop this over here. Yeah, I'm going to leave these as they are. The reason is, what's going to happen next turn is this worker is going to take a resource off of there. And from the next turn it'll take it off, and then these tiles will both be empty. So if I play this here, it's not really, it'll get utilized twice. Maybe actually it's worth it then. So tell you what I'll do, I'll place it here, and it's important I don't place it here, because we see this inner second wheel is going to turn next turn. So if I had put it here, you'll see it would have just gone out of range after this turn. Oh crikey, it did anyway. My planning was terrible. Okay, so we're in a bit of a situation now, but we can hopefully redeem it with that anyway. Okay, our powers, we've got quite a lot of power buildings at the moment, which is good. We're going to go ahead and, I don't want to put the crystal flare here because it'll block off this green tile. So instead what we'll do is we'll just drop it on the end over here, and now we can start trying to build up maybe a bit of commodities, these precious gems here. Our population's down to 1, so we can just about afford this cantina. Crikey, we could have been in trouble there. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, power's in a good place, but we can see now that we ran out of resources in this middle one, and now that chain's broken, so these 2 aren't going to be utilized. But I was a lucky boy, and I got myself a battery farm that can just hook those 2 up, so that's handy. Alrighty, so we've got that going. In terms of what we've got left, you can see the rotation means that our population is no longer connected, which is a little bit of a shame. So maybe this is a good time for me to play a worker between here, so we can at least get a little bit of resources off these at the end of the turn. So let's go ahead and do that. Still very low on population here, but we got 2 from these workers here, which is good. Right, we're still, I think we need to prioritize population at the moment. This worker will harvest both of these next turn, but we'll get more if we make a chain. So I'm going to go ahead and place this here, even though the worker won't be able to take from here because it's blocked off, and it won't be able to take from here because it'll be consumed actually no, they're not. Yeah, it'll be consumed from this chain. Because it's a chain, I'm going to get 2 from each of them plus 2 for the chain length, which is more than I'd get off of those. So yeah, I think that is the better call for me here. I'm also going to drop in here so we can start utilizing these blue tiles. So let's go ahead and do that. End the turn. Okay, we've got 5 people now, which is good. However, we're now in a situation where we're not actually getting people again. I haven't got any people cards, so I'm going to go and re-roll, hoping I get some green card. Didn't get any again, so we're going to have to be cautious how many people it takes to place these. So these take 1, these take 2. I think what I'll do is maybe place one of the cheaper ones just to play it a little bit safer. And then what we can also do is maybe play... No, that takes 2. Let's not do that. Let's just end the turn there. Get our resources. And look, we've just hit our target again. So the wheel is going to upgrade again. Now we've got ourselves a maximum size mining rig. And we've got some better cards. Okay, we've got a workshop that increases the harvest rate of adjacent workers. And we've also got a better plant that gives us 2 per turn instead of 1. So that's pretty cool, but it's a bit more expensive. Okay, let's try and burn through some of this. These have misaligned because the wheels have changed. So I'm going to drop this here. But most importantly, I would need to get our green building down because we're losing that. Are any of my wheels turning next turn? Let's have a look actually. Yeah, both of these are turning. So if this turns, we still want this to be connected. So let's put this here and let's end that. Oh, the crystal as well is vibrating furiously, which means zap. It is time for it to cause some damage. Yes, so that is what happens when that counter gets to the bottom. We didn't have any lightning rod buildings placed, so yeah, my poor building was destroyed. And that means I can't actually place anything on that building anymore either. So you slowly lose a bit of space. Even though we've been expanding the whole time, we're now at our max size, so something to consider. Alright, let's go ahead. We'll build one of those by here. And I think... community volunteer, we probably don't need one of those. Let's re-roll. We're quite good on power. Okay. Let's go ahead. We'll get that going. We're going to get 4 population from that. I think that's enough. So yeah, we'll be a bit liberally here because I don't want to run out of population. You don't lose the game if you run out of population, but you can get in a bit of a rut where you can't do anything because you need people. So this is ideal for us now. Okay, cool. So let's get the closer to the middle you go, the less often it rotates. So if you want a more stable kind of building structure, generally I stick to the middle. So let's go ahead and do that. That was a bit of a waste because I put it in front of that tile where you can't build anymore. But yeah, really maybe here and down here would have been better because I could have got a chain, but I didn't play very sensibly there. Okay, we've got one more campsite. So these aren't going to... Let's get a big chain because we could have made 2 separate chains, but this will be better for us, I believe. Because they're all going to tick together as well. Okay, so now we've got to the next level again. We've unlocked this lightning rod. That should hopefully allow us to block any zaps that we get from this crystal as we're harvesting all of its goodness, which it isn't happy about. Okay, so we've got some... we could potentially just get a double laser drill going here while we've got that chain together. Let's do that. Yeah, power's starting to get a bit weaker now. So tell you what, I'm going to play some workers here. No, we're rotating next turn. So yeah, by here should be fine, I think. Yeah. Let's do that. That means we can harvest this last one off of here, which clears a bit of space for us. These will disappear in 2 turns, so we don't have to worry about those clogging up the board. Okay, so... what have we got in front of us? Our power's getting a little bit low. One thing I may not have mentioned is the more rings you have, the more power it takes to keep this thing running. So you can see now this is going to take 3 power per turn, so we really need to focus on getting our power up and supporting our systems. Okay, we've got 1 here at least, which is good. We do have a lightning rod as well, which will protect us in 3 turns, hopefully. So I tell you what, I'm using this ring quite a lot at the moment, so I'll tell you what, we'll drop a lightning rod here. Maybe not the best because I've just cut off that section there. Didn't think that through properly, but okay, no problem. We've got that done. I'm cautious of power though. I want to play this, but we'll be on like 0 power at the end of the turn, so let's not do that. Okay. So we got a little bit of power back. We're on 7 now. Good, we got 2 power cards. This is good. Alright, so I'm tempted to start a new little chain along here. But just because they're the same, they've got the same amount of kind of resources available, that they should just tick off together being on the same wheel as well. Although we can spend this. So this cantina has no walls, so it's a nice one to place down. Can't really use this at the moment, so yeah, we'll just drop this over here. Yeah, and these next to it, I think, because we got enough workers but not enough power. So let's go ahead and drop that there. Get some resources back. Okay, cool. So we can start ticking these away now. Are these turning next turn? Yes. And that's turning in 2, so you can probably do some clever planning here, but I'm looking probably here, I think, would be a fine place. And then... although I'd like this one to disappear so we can free up this campsite as well. Alright, Crystal Flare's doing okay. Now you can see here... oh, I don't know if I... Yeah, that I need the extra power. We're on 0 now, but at the end of the turn we'll be fine. Hopefully. But you can see the crystal's just about to go, so... it'll target a random building, but if it targets any of them on the same wheel as my lightning rod, the lightning rod will absorb it. So let's see what happens, shall we? Okay, Crystal's gonna get a little bit mad. Yeah, okay, cool. It went for the lightning rod, so we prevented further damage. That's pretty cool. Alright, so now we can build that up a little bit more. Our people are... yeah, we're a bit low on population still. What we'll do, we'll play a campsite here, because... oh no, wrong place. This is... okay, that wasn't the best move. Okay, let's go ahead and carry on. The power's okay, but these are going to run out in a few turns, and then we've got to consider what the plan is, you know? Okay, let's get this connected. This is going to turn next turn, so let's place it here. Yeah, that's fine by me. Energy generator as well. We need to get you hooked up. Oh no, there's a wall between them. That was... oh, this one is all blocked in from all directions now. That is what we would call a bad move. However, we've upgraded. You see, we've hit our commodity target. So we've got even more new buildings. So we've got a fusion reactor this time. That has no walls. It's a bit more expensive, but you can see no walls means we can make some nice chains with it. We can also use this magnetic accelerator to force a ring to turn at a certain point if we want, which is pretty cool. Alright, so let's drop this one here. And this green one will be freed up once this gets consumed as well, which is good. Okay, so I'm going to go for a campsite. Yeah, let's drop it here. And then sleeping chambers can extend off of it here because there's no wall. That's what the cantina's great at. And then, yeah, let's just make a nice large chain along. Oh no, my power, I didn't even think about. Okay, we're good. We got lots. Okay, around we go. So our people situation is quite good now. Our power situations, we're hanging on. These two will feed in each other for a bit, but we're not in a great situation. So let's play it safe and hope we get power cards. That's what we wanted. Okay, so we need no walls on the top, so let's get that one hooked up. They're not turning for a wall, so they'd be good as well. And then another lightning rod, that could be handy. So this one's only got 3 turns left on it. I think for now what I'll do is I'll drop this lightning rod on the outer ring. So let's go ahead and end our turn there. Here we go. Got ourselves 12 power, which is nice, but we've just lost a big chunk of our power stations. Lightning rod again though, which is good because it's going next turn, right? So this would protect all of our buildings if we were to place this one down. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Safety first. I know we could have lost that building. It's not that many, but let's extend the chain. And then gravity slingshot. Is that going to do any good for us? Change the rotation. No, I don't think it will at the moment. Okay, let's end our turn there. Alright, so our chain is now destroyed, but the crystal didn't destroy any buildings at least, which is great. So there was a chance actually it could have destroyed this one right next to it. There's no lightning rod there at least, but thankfully it didn't choose that target that ring. So okay, now we can finally free up. No, we can't. There's walls on the top. I can't place that there. Workshop, harvest rate for adjacent workers. Tell you what, we can probably get this one going. This is going to turn next turn, but it's going to get removed anyway, so let's just drop that there, I think. And I'm going to re-roll because I'd like some more blue commodities if I can. Didn't get them, but we can drop a double camp. Instead of double campsite, I think, because this is going to be gone next turn, I think I'm going to instead build this down this way. Because this is turning, I might do it here. It looks a bit silly for now, but next turn I think it'll be in our favour. And we can get this battery farm hooked up over here. Here we go, used all our cards in a turn. We're in a good place. There we go, look at that, it's turned into a chain of 3. Pretty satisfying. Okay, now you'll notice our lightning rod has gone, so we need to go ahead and get a new one of those down. I'm going to drop it here, so we don't block off the chain for the red bit of there. And we finally got some blue cards as well. We need to keep progressing. Getting rich, right? That's the dream. So what I'll do, I'll start maybe a little laser drill camp over here. It won't do anything yet until we get some more, or we get some gem cutter workers perhaps. You see this crystal grows more and more unstable the longer you go as well, so it'll happen more and more frequently. But I've been quite fortunate with the lightning rods at the moment to defend, so it's all going pretty good. Okay, so let's keep the dream alive with these. I'm going to drop this one next to the lightning rod, and we'll drop this one just next to there. I think that should be a nice chain of population for us. Look, there's 47 now. Crikey. We took that up, didn't we? Oh, and another lightning rod. This is great. Okay, so now we can protect all of our rings from lightning, and we've got some wonderful fusion reactors. So these are expensive, but they're omnidirectional. So this means that we can play both up and down and across as well. So I wonder what the right way to do this would be. Maybe we'll just do it like that. And we can finally get our laser drill. Oh, it's going to be turning next turn though. Kind of maybe here would be better. Yeah, let's drop that there ready. That should spin around into place. There we go. Lovely. Okay, and then we've got busting plant. Right, you see the crystal is just about to erupt as well, but we've got all rings covered at the moment, which is good. So I'm going to just go and drop probably one of these. They've got the same lifetime, so they'll last the whole time. It makes a nice kind of group that I don't need to think about for a while. We haven't got any use for the battery farm at the moment. This will be turning next turn, so I think what we'll do is we'll drop a laser drill here. Let's keep going. Okay, here comes the crystal. Shoots its beam, but one of my lightning rods absorbed it. Everything's going good. So yeah, we've only had one building destroyed so far, which is pretty good. So let's get these hooked up. They're not currently connected. So, but sleeping chambers. Sleeping chambers is only side to side, so we'll have to place that there instead. And we could do with maybe expanding out this bit. Yeah, I realise I'm a little tied in on these here. I could have gone above it there as well, I guess. But yeah, we can get a nice chunk of power going here actually if we just place these underneath. End our turn. There we go. It's all looking good. Okay. Let's drop this here. Get a bit of population going around on this edge, I think. Let's get those here, cafeteria here. And have we got any? This is a little stray building. I don't think the worker's going to help us much here. Anything better? Gem cutter. I think we're okay here as well, so let's just go ahead. continue. So hopefully this gives you an idea of what we intended for the game. I've been quite fortunate, I think, with lightning rods at the moment, so it seems that I'm in quite a good place. But the idea is that you complete your production tasks, you upgrade your rig, you get given new tasks, which you can see this is a blue one without any walls, which is even better. We also have some new special cards which will allow building to perform at a better rate. But over time what should happen really is that you'll lose the tiles due to the crystal flaring more and more regularly, and so your space is going to be more and more limited, and so making these chains gets harder and harder, but at the same time it's quite a relaxed pace and quite a nice kind of puzzle solving building game. Yeah, we're pretty happy how it turned out. I guess the only thing we really would have liked is we expected the wheel mechanics, the spinning, to be a little bit more part of the strategy, but I think quite often it's more tempting just to play the short term, and if things get misaligned you deal with it. We also thought about things like changing the wheel direction and forcing it to stay still for a while, but again I think perhaps the life of the buildings is a little too short to kind of allow strategy like that to feel really meaningful. But it was a great experiment. We really enjoyed getting involved in this game. If you want to check it out, feel free to let us know if you enjoyed the game too. But I'll leave it there for now. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for checking out.